Chelsea free kick just inside their own half. Chisholm in acrobatically to stab that one away with a boot as Dixon tried to chest it down, but it comes to Nevin, and then in comes Sean Elliott with a good challenge on this near side. The Sunderland left, and the ball out for a throw-in. So Chelsea looking to get an early goal in this second half to put the pressure back on Sunderland, but at the moment it's Chelsea who are under pressure. 1-1 on the night, 3-1 to Sunderland on aggregate, and if they can keep their cool in these early minutes of the second half, then they should through to that Milk Cup final at Wembley on March the 24th. A little alarm there as Chris Turner comes for a ball which this time he doesn't get, and Gary Bennett has to clear behind his goalkeeper. Out for a throw-in, which comes to Jones with the cross. Berry in bravely there for a ball that was about waist height. Could have feared a boot in the face, but nevertheless he went in for it. And it's out for a throw-in, another throw-in, about 15 yards inside the Sunderland half on this near side. Sunderland fielding the side that beat Chelsea 2-0 in the first leg, which means that Peter Daniel is back in the side after missing the Luton game, and Steve Berry there too. And it's Chelsea coming forward now. A good challenge from Bennett, gets the ball away, but it comes to Speedy again. Speedy with the shot, and Turner just tips that one over. The referee points to the corner flag, and Chris Turner off his line there, just knocking that one over the bar, and Speedy in almost an identical position to the position he was in when he scored Chelsea's goal in the 6th minute, but that time Turner was able to clear the danger, only as far as the corner flag, and the corner comes in, still not clear. Daniel half cleared, and then Bennett with the big boot, and the ball out bang on the halfway line for a Chelsea throw-in. So Sunderland penned inside their own half in the opening minutes of this second half. 1-1 the scoreline. The ball played forward to the edge of the Sunderland area, picked up, and an ambitious shot from Colin Pates goes way over Chris Turner's crossbar and behind for a goal kick. It was Spackman with the shot, in actual fact, playing in midfield for Chelsea. And Chris Turner taking his time about this goal kick, and seconds precious for Chelsea, but Sunderland will be glad to fritter them away. 1-1 then the scoreline here, remember, 3-1 on aggregate to Sunderland. And Chisholm doing a good job against the ferocious Speedy, and Venison helping out to put the ball out for another Chelsea throw-in on that far side, still inside the Sunderland half. Big Doug Ruby to take it, looking for an option, and the option he takes is the wrong one because Elliott's directly in the way. Forward to West, West back to Daniel, Daniel with a loose ball high into the air, but Elliott comes steaming forward to win it in the air again for Sunderland. Spackman on the ball to Nevin, now the crowd imploring Nevin to show a little bit of trickery, but instead he plays a first time ball forward looking for Speedy, but Pickering is there and out for a throw-in. Ipswich 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2 is a latest score from Portman Road in that FA Cup tie. And the goal scorers, Romeo Zondervan for Ipswich Town, Mike Lyons for Sheffield Wednesday. And the scoreboard away to my left, flashing up, here we go, for the Chelsea fans to sing as that corner comes in, and a header by Ruby goes over the crossbar. And a notice from tonight's programme that in the list of kit sponsors for the Chelsea players, Doug Ruby is sponsored by Direct Beauty Sales, which is somewhat inappropriate. I think a demolition firm would be more appropriate for Doug Ruby. Turner with the goal kick for Sunderland. West climbs for it, wins it, but can't direct that header, but Berry comes in to win it for Sunderland and wins the free kick in the process for the challenge by Bumstead. And Berry back on his feet and has battled gamely in the midfield war for Sunderland. Free kick taken by Berry to Pickering. Now Pickering setting off on a run on this left-hand side, gets the cross in, West coming in, just headed out of his path. But as far as Walker, and then Walker with a little bit of trickery that takes him into the area, looking to get the cross in, takes a deflection. Pates takes his time about getting it clear, and only as far as Daniel. Daniel with a wild boot hoists it wide to the Sunderland right, and it drops for Mickey Thomas. Thomas has been a little quiet at the start of this second half. He was anything but quiet in the first half, had his name taken for a challenge on Barry Venison, and one of 4 players to be booked in that first half in actual fact. Free kick to Chelsea, which Ruvi takes deep inside his own half. Bennett gets it clear, but the referee blows up for a challenge by Steve Berry just before Gary Bennett intervenes, and so that's a free kick to Chelsea in a useful position, about 10 yards outside the Sunderland area, just to the right of Chris Turner's goal. Turner cat-like on his line, a 3-man wall in front of him, and on the ball is Mickey Thomas. Thomas chips it over that wall, and Bennett just deflects it wide for a corner as Joey Jones came in on the blind side. So behind for a Chelsea corner, Mickey Thomas comes across to take. Chelsea 1, Sunderland 1 the scoreline, 3-1 on the night, and Sunderland doing well to weather this second half storm from Chelsea. And another corner as Chisholm puts that one from Thomas behind. Chelsea applying the pressure, but a little bit frantic, I feel. Frantic in their endeavours to get a goal back and put Sunderland under pressure again. Thomas with this corner on the near side, curls it in near post, takes a deflection. Bennett is there, still loose in the area. Speedy goes down, and West it is who gets it clear. Chested down by Spackman, plays it wide to Thomas. That was dangerous for Sunderland as Chelsea got the back header to the ball, then played in deep. Berry is there to put it behind for a corner, and Nevin races across to take the corner on that far side on the Sunderland right. Hodgson goes to him, but he curls it in. Ruvi is there, but it's cleared by Sunderland again, and now Hodgson all on his own up front, looking to break but can't do so, and the ball rebounds towards the Sunderland goal, and Chisholm has to adjust to the bounce of the ball as it spun back. He did so well, got it clear, but only as far as Ruvi, and then Elliott again belts it clear. Walker goes up for it, loses out, and it's with Ruvi again. Ruvi forward to Dixon. One touch stop from Chelsea with Speedy now. The back heel from Speedy into the path of Spackman. Nevin screaming for it on the Chelsea left. He gets the ball, it then takes his eye off it, and it runs away from him and goes out for a Sunderland throw-in. Peter, it's been Sunderland pegged inside their own half mainly for this opening period in the second half, but I think Chelsea probably a little bit too frantic.
Yes, that's right, Bill. I think understandably so, because you feel that if they got a goal now, well, Sunderland really would have an absolute avalanche flung at them. But if Sunderland can hold out against this pressure for the next 10-15 minutes, well, I think then Chelsea's hearts may feel that 2 goals very late on could be extremely difficult indeed to get. But at the moment, it's all hands to the pump for Sunderland. They've got to weather this storm.
And another free kick to Chelsea on the Sunderland right. The ball curled in. Turner comes for it and holds it well in amongst a mass of bodies, and then gets it clear, and Walker is up there tangling with Dale Jasper, and he's brought down is Clive Walker, and that will be a free kick as Jasper got in a bit of a tangle. Walker tried to get away from him, and Jasper brought him down, and that could be construed as a professional foul, but the referee awards Sunderland the free kick and takes no action against Dale Jasper. So this is a useful position for Sunderland, and really the first opportunity they've had to mount an assault on the Chelsea goal, and Sunderland players in a bit of a huddle over the ball, more like an American football team talk. And then Bennett and Chisholm run away, and the free kick is taken. It comes out to Daniel, crossed in, comes to Pickering, and Pickering blazes it over the bar, but gets a round of applause from Colin West for at least being in the right position. That was obviously a pre-planned move from Sunderland. The free kick taken caused enough confusion in the Chelsea area as Chisholm and Bennett came in for the ball to drop invitingly for Pickering, free just inside the area, but just snapped at it, and it curled wide and over the Chelsea bar. Berry tangling for the ball in midfield, loses out to Thomas, and then Thomas plays it wide. A nice ball for Nevin as it curls invitingly into the little Scotsman's path. Nevin into the area to Spackman back into the path of Ruby, who chips one forward for Nevin. Turner comes off his line like lightning and holds that one as Nevin tried to get on the end of it. And the ball's safely in the arms of Chris Turner. And Turner takes his time again, then launches it forward. West underneath it, beaten by Doug Ruby. Colin West, who's been a nuisance value for Sunderland tonight and of great value at the back. He's popped up in defence on a couple of occasions to clear when danger is threatened. Hodgson hoisting the ball forward for West, but no chance for the big striker there, and it's Chelsea who get it clear, only as far as Sean Elliott, and Elliott plants that one fully in the crowd for a Chelsea throw-in. Just about a full house here, must be 44,000 in the ground as the throw-in is taken by Chelsea. Pates keeps it in, but Chisholm climbs well to win that one for Sunderland, but only as far as Spackman, and as Spackman racing forward through midfield, Berry sticking to him though and forcing the Chelsea number 8 wide, and then Spackman gets it into the area to Nevin. A good ball, Nevin taking on Pickering, a little bit of trickery, gets Nevin some space, gets the cross in, and Bennett with a last-ditch clearance heads it out of the path of Dixon as he came in to get on the end of that one. Delightful skills by Pat Nevin, unhinged the Sunderland defence, beat Nick Pickering, got a lovely cross in which went over the heads of Chris Turner, but Bennett was there in the right place to head it away. It's beautiful bit of controlled play from Pat Nevin there, Peter.
Yes, indeed it was. He left the marker for dead, a marvellous little piece of skill. And of course, when the cross went over the top of Chris Turner, well, you wondered what on earth was going to happen. But all those Chelsea players straining for it, Bennett was up, knocked it away, and Sunderland escaped. But it really was an illustration of Nevin's precocious skills. He's a marvellously talented little footballer, this lad.
And he's quite an intellectual, is Pat Nevin. Writes a column for a rock music paper and likes his rock music. His favourite group is Joy Division, who pretty depressing, what I've heard of them. And I think Charles Harrison thinks his favourite singer is Joy Davison. But at the moment, Pat Nevin's got more things on his mind than music. And it's Sunderland coming forward. Hodgson getting a ball in, but straight into the arms of Niedzwiecki, who immediately fires it forward with a drop kick, but Elliott is there to control it and take it away from Nevin on this occasion. And then Elliott tries a bit of Nevin trickery, which doesn't come off, and the ball comes to Dale Jasper. Jasper plays it forward, looking for Dixon. In comes Pickering with a good challenge on Bumstead, and Chelsea play the long ball forward, which was never on for Speedy, and Daniel cuts it out, but that one comes off the outside of his boot and goes out for a throw-in. I wonder if that was the bit of boot that's been specially adapted to accommodate Peter Daniel's broken toe. And Daniel playing with that injury, he's had a little nick cut in his boot so that he can get plenty of padding in there, and he seems to be doing a fair job, considering that it must be a little bit uncomfortable. And Chelsea beginning to feel a little bit of pressure from their fans, and in response to the situation, Chelsea decide to send on super sub Paul Cannonville. Off comes Dale Jasper, on comes Paul Cannonville, who presumably will slot in on the left up front, and Cannonville at his best has electrifying pace and could cause problems for Sunderland. He certainly did that. And Cannonville is on. Chelsea immediately looking to pick him out, but instead Sunderland win. A throw-in midway inside the Chelsea half, taken long. West does well to win that one down by the corner flag, and it's turned back to Niedzwiecki, played forward. Speedy on the ball. Nevin goes in, Venison goes in, and That's a free kick for the challenge by Barry Venison on David Speedy. And Cannaville will take this free kick on the Sunderland right into the area. Pickering is there to nod it clear. Still loose, comes to Speedy, down by the byline, gets the cross in, still loose inside the area, bodies all over the place. Jones with the shot, throws himself to the floor, and in the end it's out for a goal kick. Well, 2 Sunderland players down on the deck, and Steve Phillips, the physio, is on, and Sunderland really just threw bodies in the way there when that ball was loose, and the ball was being whacked from close range, and no wonder there are a couple of men down. And the Chelsea fans trying to lift their side now. I think there were about 3 let-offs there, Peter.
Yes, just about, Bill. It was really frantic. Their arms, the legs were flailing furiously at the ball. Most of them couldn't connect. In the end, a couple did, and the ball was bouncing around. And in the end, it was scrambled clear. But I think the substitution of Paul Cannaville is interesting. John Neal and John Hollins obviously deciding they couldn't leave it any longer, that Chelsea needed more thrust down either flank. And Cannaville, of course, the man who turned the tie against Sheffield Wednesday by coming on and scoring so quickly in that game. But it was his wing play, his speed and power which helped Chelsea turn the tie. And they will hope that he can do it here. But one has to say at the moment that Sunderland are remaining pretty cool. They're going along very nicely indeed, thank you. And it's looking pretty good at this stage for Sunderland.
Chelsea 1, Sunderland 1 is the scoreline, 3-1 on aggregate, and joined now by Bob Cass. Bob, how do you feel at the moment?
Well, I want to say confident, but I don't want to sound too optimistic, Bill. And if Sunderland do get through, they're going to look back on this night. There's been a great night of courage, of desperate passion, because they're coming through. Hopefully they'll come through against all the odds and against a lot of biased refereeing, I would have thought. And Sunderland have really played well, have shown a lot of character out there tonight.
Well, biased refereeing. I'm sure Mr. Gunn wouldn't agree with that. But it's Chelsea 1, Sunderland 1, the scoreline still, and play restarted after treatment, and Steve Berry going on a chase as the ball's pumped forward again by Sean Elliott. Berry inside the area, tries to square it, but Ruby is there. Berry picks it up again and plays it back to Barry Venison. Venison gets a lucky rebound and still has possession. Venison sticking with the ball and then lays it off for Steve Berry. Berry squares it to Walker. Walker onto Colin West, just outside the area. West forced wide and then plays it to David Hodgson on the Sunderland left. Hodgson on the ball. Joey Jones is there to Pickering. Pickering, a good ball to Hodgson. Hodgson down by the byline, gets the cross in. West coming in. Good header away by Ruby. And then Ruby completes the clearance with a big punt. Cannaville looking to get on the end of it. He does. And Chelsea breaking now. Played wide to Kerry Dixon. Dixon, who hasn't scored in 6 games. 28 goals this season, but he's hit a barren patch. Bennett wins the ball and then gets a shove in the side from Kerry Dixon, and these two have clashed once already, which resulted in Dixon being booked. Well, Dixon a little stupid there as well. After he'd been robbed by Bennett, he went in on the Sunderland player, and the referee, right on the spot, gives Sunderland the free kick just outside their area. Cannaville looking to block the tap back to Chris Turner. Referee tells him to get his distance, but it's back with Turner, and Turner clears it upfield to the halfway line. West climbs for it, is beaten by Ruby, and now with Nevin. Forward to Speedy. Pickering loses out, and now with Nevin. But that time Chisholm is in. And it's a Chelsea throw-in. Back with Colin Pates, the Chelsea captain, to Doug Ruby. Ruby firing the cross in. Speedy glances it on. Cannaville looking to turn, and he hooks it wide. But little David Speedy really has been a thorn in Sunderland's side tonight. He scored after 6 minutes and had Sunderland shaking in an opening burst of Chelsea passion, which Sunderland weathered, didn't concede anymore, and then got their equaliser in the 36th minute, a superbly taken goal by Clive Walker. Turner restarts. West, the nod on. Hodgson lifts it over Colin Pates, then goes on the chase and wins it back, and then plays a lovely ball in for Berry. Berry's going to try it first time, hits the bar and comes away. That really would have been one of the most sensational goals I've ever seen if that had gone in. Unlucky for Steve Berry. And now Cannonville coming away for Chelsea. This game is really boiling up. It's Chelsea 1, Sunderland 1. Cannonville going all the way, tries the shot right across the face of the goal. Peter, two breathtaking opportunities.
Oh, amazing shot by Berry, it really was, and it almost atoned for a miss, I thought, by Berry a little earlier, because he had a glorious chance to set up David Hodgson, who was screaming for the ball on the 8-yard line, unmarked in the centre of the goal, and Berry didn't get the ball over quickly enough, and the chance was lost. But it was a wonderful shot on the turn, that one by Berry, and at the other end, a fine illustration of Cannonville's pace and power, getting into a good shooting position, and that was only just wide from him.
Well, great drama here, and things gradually turning Sunderland's way, I feel, but don't let's tempt fate. 21 minutes to go. Chelsea 1, Sunderland 1 on the night, 3-1 to Sunderland on aggregate. Chelsea need to score 3 clear goals if they're to reach the Milk Cup final. Sunderland need to hang on for another 20 minutes or so if they're to defy all the odds and go to Wembley. It's Chelsea coming forward again. Nevin, and he leaves it for Cannonville. Loose ball from Cannonville, cut out by Venison. Nods it forward to Walker. Walker all on his own up front, loses possession. A good challenge by Pates. Speedy, and a loose ball from Speedy, hoping to find Spackman, but instead it goes behind for a goal kick. And perhaps the pace of the first half, when Chelsea really gave their all for this big crowd and for their cause, is beginning to tell, because Mickey Thomas has gone noticeably off the boil, and David Speedy not quite so effective, but that's just the sort of comment that's likely to provoke swift retaliation from those players. The ball loose with Clive Walker inside the area. Walker taking on Niedzwiecki and getting number 2 for Sunderland. That must surely send Sunderland to Wembley. Clive Walker's second, a great opportunist goal. Niedzwiecki down on his knees. Walker goes to the Sunderland supporters. Clive Walker's 12th goal of the season, took it superbly, and it's Chelsea 1, Sunderland 2.
And the man who made it, Bill, David Hodgson, with a lovely 1-2 originally off Berry, and then he controlled the ball, saw Walker away on the left, and it was a superb pass across to him, took out the last Chelsea defender, released Walker. Well, what a super finish by Walker, but Hodgson made it with a lovely piece of work.
Absolutely, and what a magnificent night it's been for Clive Walker. And because I was talking to him just before the game, and he was saying whatever happened, he didn't want to lose in front of Chelsea's fans that he'd spent 11 years in front of. He's not only going to lose, but the way he's going on, he's going to win the game for Sunderland. It's going to be a tremendous night for Clive Walker.
Well, Chelsea's frustration just getting the better of them now, and David Speedy having a whack at Sean Elliott, and Gary Bennett having a little whack at David Speedy, and the referee steps in, calms things down, tells the Chelsea players to get their distance, and indicates that he wants a chat with David Speedy. Chelsea 1, Sunderland 2, the scoreline, and I can tell you that we'll be having a special phone-in at the end of the match tonight, so if you'd like to air your views on the situation, and let's hope it's a happy situation, it looks like being that way, then give us a call. 488-3188 is the phone number, I think, but I'll get that confirmed. Can't remember exactly what that phone-in number is, but if you'd like to give us a call, then do so. And Gary Bennett also being booked after his dust-up with David Speedy. And so that's probably a consequence of Chelsea's frustration. And still David Speedy is having a go. He's now wanting a word with Clive Walker. And the former Darlington player just being a little bit stupid now. And David Hodgson urging Speedy just to calm down, as we have a bit of crowd trouble now, and seats being thrown onto the pitch from the Chelsea section of the crowd away on the far side, the police going in, and so Chelsea's fans, I'm afraid, are reacting to the situation in the worst possible way, and they're on the pitch And this we feared would happen if things didn't go Chelsea's way. They're on the pitch and they're heading for the Sunderland supporters. And is this an attempt to get the game abandoned? And mounted police come into the stadium as the Chelsea fans head for the Sunderland supporters. The Sunderland supporters sensibly are not responding to the situation. The Chelsea fans, though, in front of them, I'll remind you that it's Sunderland 2, Chelsea 1 on the night, 4-1 to Sunderland on aggregate, as these hooligans retreat, and perhaps it is going to be restored. If they've got any sense, they're going to get back now, because they're going to get mown down by the police horses. One fan out on the deck, and these mounted policemen conducting a cavalry charge, taking no prisoners. And like a scene from the Wild West out there, but still pieces of seating being thrown from the crowd. And the Chelsea fans not able to take their punishment like proper men. But this is the sort of thing you come to expect as a policeman gets a piece of seating right in the face on the far side, and still missiles being hurled. That phone-in number, if you want to talk about this Milk Cup success, because I think that's what it's going to be. Surely this is the last thing that Chelsea wanted. John Hollins wanted support from the side, but not hooliganism. As a policeman, I think it is stretched it away. Then that phone-in number is 4883188. Peter, this is the sort of thing we feared might happen if it didn't go Chelsea's way.
Yes, it's very sad, Bill, and a spectator is being carried away at the moment on a stretcher down the tunnel towards the players' dressing room. And perhaps it's appropriate that the Chelsea chairman, Ken Bates, who insists his supporters are very decent, honourable, good-living people and never get into trouble, perhaps it's appropriate that he's one of the men sitting there watching these sickening scenes.
Well, I have to agree with Peter, because I don't know how Ken Bates can condone the behaviour of these supporters. He would say he doesn't condone it, but he wouldn't agree that they're hooligans. But from what we've seen tonight, there is no other way of describing them. And a word of praise for the Sunderland supporters, not out of any bias, but simply because they did not respond to the situation. They had 100 or so Chelsea fans coming at them, and they stood their ground. I must tell you that play is continuing, although in a slightly unreal atmosphere. We've got police all over the place, mounted police patrolling the touchline, seats being thrown onto the pitch, a fan on the pitch now. He's going to get clobbered very shortly by a couple of policemen. Nidzwicki, I think, intends to have a go, decides against it, and play continues with 5 policemen running across the pitch. Well, I would suggest that this is a little bit ridiculous, but Walker is on the ball for Sunderland, gets the cross in, West is there, it's number 3 for Sunderland. Colin West has got number 3 for Sunderland, and that must mean Wembley, March the 24th for Sunderland. And it's absolutely incredible. You had a fan running across the pitch as Sunderland broke towards the Chelsea goal, 5 policemen pursuing, in amongst them Clive Walker on the ball, got the cross in, and there was Colin West to plant the header firmly past Eddie Nidzwicki. And the linesman now attracting the referee's attention. I hope to goodness that he is not going to abandon this one, because that is playing right into the hands of these yobs. This is what they want. They want this game abandoned. The referee goes to talk to the policeman, and for some reason the police think that their job is done, the mounted police, and they've decided to go back whence they came. But the referee's suggesting that they might like to hang around for a bit longer, because I'm sure these Chelsea fans aren't done. We've got on the clock 10 minutes to go about that, but who knows what the referee is going to add on. I don't know what Bob Cass makes of all this.
Honestly, I don't know what's going to happen next, Bill. You've got to be here and see what's happening and to believe it. I mean, I've been reporting football now for the best part of 30 years, and I can't believe what's happening. I mean, it was almost an anticlimax, Colin West getting that goal. There's a policeman on the field, and he was in a better place than Colin West to meet Clive Walker's cross, I thought. But fortunately, the ball went across the policeman's head, and there was Clive Walker, and there was Colin West to head it in. And since then, the referee has gone down and started speaking to. We've got one of the mounted policemen on the pitch now. In fact, it really is chaos out there, and absolutely despicable scenes as far as British football is concerned. It's an absolute disgrace, and the sooner that Ken Bates and anybody that's got anything to do with fans like these, and I'm not just calling about Chelsea fans, the sooner they get something is done to stamp them out of the game, the better it'll be.
Well, missiles still being thrown from the crowd. We're still playing, the ball out for a throw-in, and the mounted police are still down there. I don't know what's happened to the police down in this particular part of the stand below us where the missiles are coming from, but there doesn't seem to be anybody down there. And the ground staff collecting great staves of wood which have been thrown from that piece of terracing, and still playing with the scoreline, I must tell you. Chelsea 1, Sunderland 3, 5-1 to Sunderland on aggregate. Almost lost my bearings with all this unfortunate drama unfolding in front of us, but we're playing on, and Alan Gunn has made the right decision, because to give in to these thugs would be a very big mistake. Supporters beginning to drift home, but I'm sure the hooligans are going to hang around and wreak their vengeance on the Sunderland supporters, who are still being immaculately behaved, and play going on with Paul Cannonville. And Chelsea trying to compose themselves to perhaps get themselves back in the match. But they need 5 goals to win this one now. Cannonville trying to set something up, just plants the ball at the feet of Sean Elliott, and Elliott gets it clear. And play continuing with David Speedy. Speedy taking on Gary Bennett. And then squaring it to Ruvi. Ruvi in midfield, Sunderland pulling everybody back. And now with Pat Nevin, Hodgson going in well on Nevin, winning that one. It's going to go out for a throw-in, but again David Hodgson doing well. And the police patrolling this section of the cinders down below the stand we're in as play continues. Speedy takes a little whack at Sean Elliott. The referee says he noticed, and West turns it back to Chris Turner. And Turner will take his time with this one, and things perhaps have calmed down slightly, but there's a horrible atmosphere here now, and you wonder what's going to happen next. 3-1 the scoreline on the night. 2 goals for Clive Walker, 1 for Colin West. West scored amid the bedlam when there are actually police on the pitch, and I'm sure Chelsea will have something to say about that. But the referee sticking to his guns, and the game continuing, although I don't know how much time he's going to add on for all this hooliganism. And now we've got another Sunderland, another fan on the pitch who is going to have a dig at Clive Walker, and Joey Jones is there. Jones remonstrating with the fan, and Jones gets in between this rather large Cockney and Clive Walker, and then Nidzwicky goes in. And I think it's going to take a brave man to stick to his guns in the face of this. And still this supporter wants to get at the Sunderland players. And where are the police? Well, they're there now, but really they're a bit slow off the mark, and eventually he's rugby tackled, and with any luck he's going to disappear for the night in some suitable accommodation. And he's led away, and things settle down again. Peter?
Yes, absolutely disgusting, the scenes, but I think the police were terribly slow there, bearing in mind the atmosphere, as you so rightly said, Bill, that this idiot was on the pitch for a considerable amount of time, just with only Joey Jones stopping him tearing into Clive Walker. Really was absurd.
Play continuing, and the ball loose inside the Sunderland area, cleared, and the shot over the bar by Spackman. And the fan who tried to have a go at Clive Walker is led off, and it's going to be a goal kick to Sunderland. 3-1 the scoreline then, 5-1 on aggregate to Sunderland, and it's going to be Sunderland in the Milk Cup final unless we have even more drama here, unless Chelsea can compose themselves, but really they must be rattled by what's been going on around them. As Turner gets it forward, West loses out to Colin Pates, and it's played forward by Spackman. Chisholm nods it out of the path of Speedy, and then Venison loses out to Cannonville, but it comes off Cannonville and goes for a throw-in. Well, with all the tension here tonight, there was bound to be some sort of trouble, but you have to ask questions about the police response to it, particularly the way the mounted police disappeared, thinking that their job was done, only a few seconds after the outbreak of missile throwing. Now the police are around in bigger numbers, and let's hope there's no more trouble. Bennett underneath the ball, Nevin lifts it over Chris Turner, and that is a goal for Chelsea. But it's hard to keep your eyes on what's going on out there. The ball just lofted into the area, a mistake by Chisholm. Nevin seized on it, Turner came off his line and just saw the ball loop over him for a goal. But still, Chelsea needs another 4 of those. 3-2 on the night, 5-2 on aggregate. And if I get my maths muddled occasionally, then you'll have to forgive me, but it's pretty difficult to keep your eyes on exactly what's happening here. Another mistake, this time in the Sunderland area, almost lets the ball loose, and while play was held up just a moment ago, Sunderland sent on substitute Ian Wallace. Wallace is on there now, and it was almost Wallace cashing in on that mistake. Ball played forward by Chelsea. Pickering hoists it clear, and it's going to be a Chelsea throw-in about 10 yards inside their own half. Speedy with a nod on. Chisholm is there to hook it clear, only as far though as Spackman, trying to set up Nevin, but Sunderland get it clear. That's one for Wallace to chase, and West. Ruby does well to come across and cut that one out, and then plays it forward for Speedy to chase. Pickering is there, heads it away, but only as far as Nevin. Now Nevin taking on the Sunderland defence, plays a lovely ball into Speedy, but across comes Chisholm with a superb challenge and gets it behind for a corner. 3-2 then on the night, and it's a Chelsea corner, and that goes behind for a goal kick off the head of Doug Ruby. So still a bit of time to be played, presumably, for all the stoppages we've had when the trouble broke out, but we're still going to be doing our phone-in, and you might like to talk about Chelsea's attitudes to their supporters. If you have any experience of Stamford Bridge, then give us a call, 488 3188. But I'm sure there are going to be a lot brighter things to talk about, like Sunderland's march to the Milk Cup final. Well, they're not there yet. They lead 3-2 on the night and 5-2 on aggregate, but it's Spackman trying to do something about that, and winning a free kick for that tackle by Berry. And Thomas will take this free kick in midfield, and floats it in. Up goes Elliott to get it clear. Venison acrobatically over the head of the on-rushing Ruby, and it's come to Cannonville. Wallace is there to put it out for a throw-in to Chelsea. Hoisted forward by Pates, the captain. Down by Dixon and into the arms of Turner. And Tony Cottee has put West Ham 1-0 up against Wimbledon. Wimbledon 0, West Ham 1. Tony Cottee, the goal scorer. Here it's Chelsea 2, Sunderland 3, but Wallace has a chance for Sunderland and fires it first time into the arms of Niedzwiecki. Another chance on the break for Sunderland there, as Elliott goes in on Speedy, and Speedy protests that he was going for the ball, but Elliott is down and Speedy is going off. Well, we've had everything now. David Speedy sent off for a reckless challenge on Sean Elliott, and a brave man, Alan Gunn, because having seen the way that Chelsea fans respond to their side losing, He must have wondered what on earth they'd do when he sent one of their side off, but Speedy deserved to go for that challenge on Sean Elliott. Another missile is thrown onto the pitch, and Elliott's going to need treatment. Peter?
I was just thinking, Bill, what a sad reflection on modern-day sport that after a dreadful foul by Speedy, having been booked 5 minutes earlier, he's rightly, absolutely ripped off by the referee, and then gets a standing ovation from thousands of supporters all the way to the touchline for his dirty deed. Well, it really is a pretty sorry comment, I would have thought, on modern-day sport.
And I'd wholeheartedly agree with the comments of Peter Bills there. So Chelsea down to 10 men. They trail by 3-2 on the night. They trail 5-2 on aggregate. And it's a Sunderland free kick, which Chisholm fires forward. West goes to challenge for it, but Chelsea clear it. And really, the scenes of tonight do leave a horrible taste. It's hard to concentrate on the fact that Sunderland are going to Wembley, but that they are, barring a Chelsea last-minute miracle. Well, we're into time added on now, but how much of that there will be is anybody's guess. Alan Gunn will do what he thinks fit, and he's stuck to his guns tonight as Mr. Gunn. As Chelsea come forward again with Ruby. Plays a nice ball into Cannaville. Cannaville checks his stride, turns, shoots and pulls it wide, but nice skill there from Paul Cannaville. And that goes behind for a goal kick. 3-2 the scoreline. The referee looks at his watch. And we hear that Ipswich Town lead Sheffield Wednesday by 3-2. And Sunderland has scored for Ipswich. So it's all about Sunderland tonight. Alan Sunderland looking to get Ipswich's winner against Sheffield Wednesday, and Sunderland winning here. The ball played forward for Dixon, but cut out, and flag up for offside against Colin West. Niedzwiecki races from his area to take the free kick, and fires it forward. And Barnsley have knocked Southampton out of the FA Cup. Southampton 1, Barnsley 2, a final score. So Charles Harrison will be delighted tonight. And Clive Walker looking for a hat-trick as he breaks into the Chelsea half. Has a free kick and goes down again. Referee tells him to get up. Challenged by Spackman, I think it was. And Walker goes down, limps away, but Sunderland have the free kick. Walker discards his shin pads. I think they've taken plenty of stick tonight. And Wallace on the ball, wins the throw-in. Level with the edge of the Chelsea area. Taken to Colin West, on the edge of the area now. West gets the ball across, but nobody there for Sunderland, and it's turned back by Joey Jones to Eddie Niedzwiecki. Niedzwiecki forward, and it's with Pat Nevin. 3-2 on the night then, 5-2 on aggregate to Sunderland as Berry gets it clear, and it goes out for a throw-in to Sunderland. Joey Jones doesn't like that decision, but that's what it'll be. A Sunderland throw-in, 10 yards inside their own half. The referee has another look at his watch. As West goes down, the referee waves play on, and Ruby just whacks it out of play and almost gets hit by a missile thrown by one of his own supporters. Well, they really don't care who they hit. Steve Berry avoids a missile, and I think Mr. Gunn might just be wise to call a halt now. Chelsea seem to have thrown in the towel, and if he leaves it much longer, then we might run into another bout of hooliganism. It's Cannaville coming forward on the Sunderland left. Venison shadowing him all the way. Venison goes down and Cannaville gets the cross in. Dixon is there. Bennett gets it away. Comes to Nevin with the shot. Takes a deflection and goes behind for a Chelsea corner. So it's Chelsea 2, Sunderland 3. 5-2 on aggregate. And Nevin with this corner on the near side. It's a good-looking corner. Elliott goes up, but it's played back to Nevin, who'll have another go at getting the ball in. Takes on David Hodgson. Hodgson, though, sticks to him and gets a good challenge in, does David Hodgson. Wins possession well and then plays it forward to Wallace. Wallace back to Hodgson, deep in their own half. Hodgson makes space for himself and gets it back to Chris Turner. Had an excellent game as David Hodgson, but I'm sure that Len Ashurst will be unwilling to single out anybody for individual praise on Sunderland's side, because it's been a team performance of great character and determination. And there goes the full-time whistle, so Sunderland go to Wembley. They leave this pitch pretty quickly, but they've won by 3-2. And the Sunderland fans away to my left are heard for the first time tonight. So 3-2 the final score here in a match packed with drama and violence. Bookings galore, one player sent off, but goals for Sunderland, 2 of them from Clive Walker, a third from Colin West. For Chelsea, David Speedie in the 6th minute, seemingly unsettling Sunderland right at the very start. And then Pat Nevin getting a late consolation goal, but by then the fans, I think, had made sure that it was Sunderland who went to Wembley. And Bob, really, I don't think we ought to let the hooligans spoil what is a great night for Sunderland.
Bill, I want to tell you, I should feel happy, I should feel elated tonight, but I feel very sad. And I feel very sad for football, for English football, because what I've seen out there tonight, I don't want to witness on any football field ever again, because it was absolutely disgraceful. They've tainted the night for me. Sunderland won and won well on merit. Let's not take anything at all from them. They showed immense courage, they showed immense determination to come back from that 6th minute goal by David Speedie. But what a disgrace it was for football to see what was happening out there at Stamford Bridge. We had a spectator running onto the field trying to manhandle and trying really to have what would have been a very crushing and disgraceful assault on Clive Walker, and needed to be remonstrated by 7 or 8 policemen to prevent him from doing that. It strikes me that Ken Bates wants to get his priorities right. He makes a great song and dance about TV and things like that. I understand that he refused the cameras to come here tonight. He refused ITN. He wanted money from ITN News to cover the game. He wanted £20,000 from ITN Sport to cover